Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
But a lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to. He look crazy, Bill.
Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome in to a holiday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Wednesday morning. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, wherever you may be celebrating today, tomorrow, through the weekend. Make sure and celebrate and be thankful for whatever it is you have in your life and celebrate it with friends, family, wherever you are. Have a happy, safe, good Thanksgiving weekend. We'll be looking forward to getting back with you on Monday. We'll enjoy the break and watch a lot of football and eat a ton of food. Most likely like you will, but we will have one more show today before we get out of here. Mikey Matuk will have his show this afternoon. Mic'd Up will originate at a different start time, but it'll be on your Wednesday programming, as hopefully we can give you enough content to get you through the holidays and get us back over to Monday, when we'll have so much to talk about. There's a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the reaction to the college football playoff rankings, where the Tigers are ranked number 5 in the latest. The respect for LSU is obviously there in the College Football Playoff Committee room. We'll talk all about that coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll also have Zach Ewing in, our friend from The Advocate. He'll help us break down some of the point spreads, whether it's NFL or college. There'll be a ton of sports to watch over the next couple of days, and Ewing will be giving you a couple of picks that you may want to pay attention to here on the extended weekend. So we will talk to him. Josh from Iverstein's will be around, as we'll be eating a little Thanksgiving meal together here this morning from Iverstein's. And as always, look, if you're still planning the meal, it might be a little too late, but Iverstein's can bail you out if you want to stop and go see them over on Perkins Road. Our good friends, as they're always here on a Friday, but we wanted to bump that up this morning, obviously with being off the next couple of days. Remember, always, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet, our friends over at Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. They have a store over in LaPlace, Louisiana, and as we told you yesterday, if you're in the car market, if you're in the truck market, you got to get over and stop and see our friends at Go Chevrolet. GoAutomotive.com, GEAUX, Automotive.com. If you're tired of being overcharged for trucks, over at Go Chevrolet, they sell any truck you need. Silverado, Sierra, half-ton trucks, all of them ready to go, and you can search them online at GoAutomotive.com, GEAUX, Automotive.com. So last night, LSU is ranked number 5 in the college football playoff latest rankings, as they move up a spot from last week. And the committee obviously looking at strength of schedule for LSU, as that was what old Boo was talking about afterwards in his hit.
Get to know him well.
When he was speaking about last night's latest vote, and the top 4 shook out with Georgia at number 1. No surprise there, right? I don't think there's a surprise at Ohio State and Michigan being 2 and 3. That game this weekend will be a top 3 matchup and have playoff implications on the line. As we said earlier this week, it's a pseudo play-in game. Whoever wins this game stamps their ticket to the playoff. Georgia feels the same way, right? They could, really fall to LSU and still be in the Final Four. They've done enough work and have enough respect from the committee and the people that cover the sport that feel like they're in. And whoever wins on Saturday between Ohio State and Michigan will be in as well. Now, TCU will play against Iowa State. Their margin of error is very, very thin, as we've discussed a lot here over the last couple of weeks. And there seems to be a little bit of a fallout between 5 and 6, right? LSU 5 and USC 6. A lot of people on each side of the fence here. There's some people that believe LSU deserves to be there at 5. There's others that believe that USC deserves to be there above LSU as they find themselves a spot back. They have Notre Dame this weekend. Many people believe that USC would have slipped up last weekend versus UCLA. They outlasted the Bruins, and if you watch that game, USC is a very scary team in the sense of their offense is clicking at a very high-powered rate. Their defense is not good, and they make timely plays, but they don't make enough timely plays, I think, that they could compete with some of the dominant teams in college football right now. But USC is a very interesting team and stays, I think, very interesting to the committee because of they continue to win and how their offense and some of these name brand players like Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison are playing at such a high rate right now. And remember, we've said this since the inception of this. This is a television show, and you've got to sell tickets, and you've got to prove ratings, and you've got to sell advertisers, and you've got to bring money in, and you've got to do that on, however you see fit. And Caleb Williams and USC with Jordan Addison and Lincoln Riley is a very attractive team, I would think, to the playoff committee, at least the business-minded playoff committee members within that room. Now, LSU, as we've talked about all along here, as long as LSU takes care of their business, as long as LSU continues to just do what they've been doing, right, and that has been perform each Saturday and win and advance, then they will be in. There was, we can speculate, we can play. If LSU wins, we've heard enough people say it, and there's enough people out there that follow the sport and understand what the Southeastern Conference means to the Final Four and to the overall, shakeout of the championship. There's no way that they leave a LSU team over the next 2 weeks that beats Texas A&M and wins the league versus Georgia out of the Final Four. It's just they're not going to do it. So as long as LSU, and even Boo said that last night, Corrigan, who is the president of the committee, said the beautiful thing about college football is that it usually shakes itself out. Right? I mean, it usually takes care of itself. Rarely has there been a lot of pressure on the committee to make some, monumental decision that's really going to have people doubting who the best team in the country is. They're going to get the best teams in. But there is a human element out there that with USC, they're an intriguing team. If they keep winning, they win versus Notre Dame, they win the Pac-12, they're a team that if you're on that ledge, which I believe that would be TCU, that I would be concerned about. Again, if you're LSU and you win this weekend versus Texas A&M and you load up, go to Atlanta and beat the Dogs in the championship game of the Southeastern Conference, you're going to the Final Four. And if you don't, there will be a revolt, not just by LSU fans, by people in the SEC, that people that follow the game. There's no way you can leave LSU out of the discussion if they take care of business over the next 2 weeks. So I think it's going to be a great weekend of football. I mean, it's going to be awesome to watch. I think it's going to be great entertainment. There's a lot on the line.
Rivalry week.
Yeah, rivalry weekend. Say that 3 times.
Yeah,
Luke.
I can't even say it once. I guess that you lump LSU A&M into that now. I guess you kind of have to, because I know it's Michigan, Ohio State. That's the one that people point at first, but that's how they brand it. I guess it's LSU A&M.
Reese still can't help himself, I guess, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They want it to happen.
Y'all want to turn on me on the rivalry stuff on Alabama, but this thing in the rivalry because LSU steady kicks their teeth in. I mean, they're
It's not
making
me.
cups the only time they beat LSU.
You
What
got
do
a
we
whole-
call this, a rivalry?
He got a whole painting made. And he hangs it in his office.
I mean, a rivalry is LSU Auburn and LSU Auburn. The home team dominates. That's a rivalry. Florida LSU goes back and forth, even though LSU's won the last 4. I mean, trending towards not a rivalry.
Alabama LSU.
Alabama LSU, no chance. It's a rivalry.
Trending toward a rivalry.
Football God, Jordy, you were missing out on ad space in the back of your laptop. You were correct.
Yes, we've thought about that.
We've got a new consultant in the building.
Yeah.
Sharp sword. Can't show you his face, won't tell you his name, but
He's here.
we're talking all about it.
Also, when you look at the way that the rankings shook out, you see USC where they 6th, I believe.
Yeah.
Isn't it just Oklahoma in a different uniform? Like, shouldn't that be the way that you view a Lincoln Riley coach team until he proves otherwise? Like, I
It's fair.
understand
It's fair.
USC
It's fair.
is a bigger brand, but it is the exact same thing that he did at Oklahoma every year, where the offense is incredible. Caleb Williams could win the Heisman, and then you turn around and you look at the defense, and you're like, well, can't win a national championship with that.
No, it's fair. I mean, there's nothing that I could say that would defend that at this point.
And I think that's how the committee has to view them a little bit I know they're sexy, but it's not a complete team. You feel like LSU, even with the 2 losses, feels a little bit more complete on both sides of the ball as opposed to USC where it's like, I know exactly what I'm getting, and if you put them in a playoff scenario, they could get run out the building. If you
Damn it, man. If
any
LSU could
offense.
block on a PAT,
Yeah.
this would be such an easy discussion.
Oh, you'd be talking about 2 or 3,
No doubt about it.
not vying for 4.
Again, look, I think that, again, LSU just, you don't need any help. There's nothing that you have to wait on. There's no other team that you need that can boost you into the playoff. If you just win out, you're in. It's crazy. It's crazy to talk about. But if LSU wins out, they're going to the Final Four.
One more quick hypothetical now that you've said that. If LSU had beaten Florida State but then loses to Georgia in the SEC championship, would they still have been in?
It's a great discussion.
We don't have to have it.
I think that was when it would come down to, like, what did the game look like?
Right.
I mean, if that was a close game, they would probably be in. If they were
Let's run it
blown
back.
out, they'd be out. I mean, like, LSU's trending in such a positive direction.
But
if it comes down to a field goal or if it goes to overtime, they'll be left out. Let the record state that I am saying they will be left out. But there will be a loud minority of people saying you should consider LSU because USC is nothing but Oklahoma.
Right.
They're just going to get in there and get blown out by somebody. Right? I mean, if you put LSU in there, at least you know they can go toe-to-toe with the Giant.
Number 1 team in the country. Hadn't lost in
Absolutely.
2 years.
No,
Poor Tennessee. Such a magical run.
Yeah?
Lost
Oh,
your-
Tennessee, man.
Lost your quarterback.
Feel bad for Hendon Hooker.
Oh, have to.
I feel bad a little for, I mean, look, by no means do, in other markets of the Southeastern Conference, do you ever have pity for anybody else. But, man, Tennessee, what a tease.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of saying. It's like
What's the T for Tennessee stand for?
Yeah. Tease.
I mean, that's a tease.
They thought they had the whole thing in
Oh,
front of
dude,
them.
they were
They're
talking
like,
shit. 2019 LSU comparisons. I mean, again, can we watch ourselves in the future on how we treat this team? I mean, let's not be so distant-minded of how great they were. I mean, forget the offensive talent and what they're doing on Sundays now. Look at the defense. Like, before we start comparing teams, you still got to have the name-recognized guys on defense like 2019 did. I mean, before you start talking, you better prove to me where Delpit, where Stingley, where Tyler Shelvin, where's my man with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I can't think of his name, Caleb Chasson. I mean, Rashard Lawrence, where these cats are, with Christian Fulton. Look what Christian Fulton's doing on Sundays right now. I mean, before we just start, it looks a little 2019 LSU-ish. No, they do not. Nobody does.
22 pros.
Nobody does. I mean, You haven't seen 2019 LSU since 2001 Miami. That's the last time you saw a team that looked anything like that. What about 2020 Bama? All right, I kind of think 2019 Bama had a better roster than 2020. But, I mean, all right, if they want to be in the argument, yeah, fine. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, 2019 LSU is the best team that has existed since the 2001 Miami Hurricanes. We didn't compare them to anybody.
Ain't nobody compare them to.
I mean, we didn't compare that Canes team to anybody. LSU 2019 should sit in the same section as the 2001 Miami squad. Don't compare them to anyone. Just, it's a waste of time. And now look at the fall that Tennessee has experienced after being in those types of discussions. I mean, it's almost laughable now to think that a 2-loss Volunteer team was compared to a team that is rewriting the NFL record books on both sides of the ball. I mean, like, it's a joke.
Well, and it goes to show how hard it is to take advantage of the seasons when you have them. It's so hard to win a national championship if you're, obviously when Alabama is good, but if you're one of those teams that feels like they had like a magical runner knocking on the door or is back, you have to take advantage of seasons like this because you don't know when you're going to be close again, and then it all falls apart. But with that said, TCU is on a run of similar in terms of, like, they're on a similar run because they're undefeated. They haven't been here. Every game's been closed. It's been a magic.
If TCU wins out, I can't leave them out. You know what I mean? I just can't. For the sake of it, and maybe this is a great example of why it should be expanded to a 12-team playoff so you don't have to have these types of discussions of, I mean, what else can TCU do if they win out?
Right. It's not their fault. They
you
play
know
who
what
they
I mean?
play.
Like, it's their brand is what it is. Their schedule is what it was. But every single week they've gone out and they've won the game. And the way that they've done it has been in a lot of pressure-packed situations where everybody in the country is waiting on you to fall. Right? Like, there's a certain type of mentality to that you have to respect. Right? I mean, when you turned on that Baylor game last week, I mean, I thought, like, they're going to get beat.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, when Baylor was up, I was like, man, look, they finally the public has crushed this team, and now they're going to fall to, like, whatever. I mean, remember the buildup of last week? Like, Baylor's going to beat TCU. Baylor's going to beat TCU. I'm taking Baylor. Everybody's betting Baylor. Baylor's going to win the game. Baylor's winning. This line stinks. Look at this game. I'm taking Baylor. TCU wins the game.
But on a quick kick. Like, that, which, I mean, that's all that
they were
is
prepared
good
for that
coaching.
moment.
That's what I'm saying. That's great coaching. And then you have an LSU team that couldn't block up an extra point. TCU, however, could get on the field in 4 seconds and get off a game-winning kick against Dave Aranda, who didn't even move when it happened. He just took it all in. Dave just has no emotion.
Jacques is here. He'll sit in for a segment. Jacques is usually here on Wednesdays. We look forward to our conversations every week with JD from WAFB. We'll talk to him coming up here about his reaction to the latest college football playoff. How about Matt McMahon and LSU's basketball team winning a little bit under the radar off of television yesterday? Tough to find the streaming. What is that? Flowhoops.com, $40. Here you go. Jeez, man.
Really?
Another streaming service. I mean, can you hijack this for us?
I would imagine so. I haven't looked into it.
Get to
yet.
work on this.
Yeah, okay. I've got
but McMahon and the crew down 2 yesterday at half to Akron. Come back and blow the Zips out. Good day for Adam Miller. Good day for KJ and the crew. It was a good win. We'll talk to Jacques. We'll also talk to him a little bit about LSU this weekend, as College Station will be the backdrop of the Aggies trying to play spoiler to LSU. Does JD see that as a possibility? And will him and DeQuano be making the trip over to Coltland, to Aggieville? Dead Soxy brings you the Culotta Show every day. If you want to grab some free team color socks for yourself and check out some holiday gifts and check some holiday gifts off your list. This week, our friends over at Dead Soxy are doing a buy one, get one free sale on sock bundles. That means if you buy an 8-pair of bundle of any premium dress sock, casual sock, no-show sock, you get a second 8-pair bundle for free. Since you only get one bundle per purchase, you can game the system by completing separate transactions for each buy one, get one free. bundle you want. So if you want the whole family of
telling you how to
fans,
do
they're
this?
telling
This is
you
from Dead Soxy?
they are telling you how to scam the system. They're telling you how to scam the
That
system.
kind of people.
So if you got a whole family of fans, game the system with multiple transactions to cover everyone. Just use the code Jordy at checkout, and you got yourself a free bundle of your new favorite socks. As always, stay soxy from our friends over at Dead Soxy. This is deadsoxy.com. What a promo right here going into to Black Friday, to Cyber Friday. What is it, Cyber Wednesday?
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. I don't know, man. They got all types of sales happening, but right now over at deadsoxy.com, if you use the promo code Jordy, you get buy one, get one free on the sock bundle from our friends over at Dead Soxy. Stay soxy as always. We'll talk to JD from WAFB next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. All right, welcome back here to this Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember to hit that like button, share button, comment button. Happy early Thanksgiving to everybody out there. A lot of people on the road today. This is a very heavily trafficked road day throughout all over the country with people going to see family. So make sure you stay safe out there. Easiest way to pass the time is throw on some old podcasts from FM Digital Media, whether it's Mic'd Up, Where My Dog's At, Culotta Show, Skip Burtman and Hold the Rope and the crew. You can always find them on YouTube. Check it out. Everything brought back to you by RMB Builders. Check our friends out, rmb-builders.com, and they're on Instagram to keep up with the latest. Jacques in here every Wednesday. It's good to always see JD from WAFB, our news partner, who we love to talk to and catch up with. Happy Thanksgiving, Jock. You got the memo in the blue. You went with the royal. I went with the light. Both pulling it off, buddy.
This is
Good
purple,
to see you.
isn't it?
Is it purple?
Yeah, it's purple.
Holy cow, man. I think I might be colorblind.
I know. It looks a little blue on the TV, but that's purple in real life. Okay. Yeah.
Little Vinny Testaverde, huh?
Is he colorblind?
I think he was, yeah. Wow. That's why he threw all those interceptions early in his career. They just determined he was colorblind.
It's a hell of an
back
excuse.
in the day.
Oh, it tittle. All right, so Jacques, last night LSU 5th in the playoff rankings. Seems like the respect for the Tigers is there in the room, at least for the people that are discussing them.
Yeah, we were doing the LSU player interviews last night. They brought three guys, Ali Gay, B.J. Ojulari, and Jeray Jenkins, and came out number 5. It's like, wow. You know, it was surprising when they came out number 10 in the initial, I think. And now the excitement of basically, yeah, if you win out, are you going to be in the playoffs? So it is a amazing first season for Brian Kelly. I know a lot of people are saying, well, if they would have made that extra point against Florida State, or if they would have won that game, they'd be in a different spot. Don't get mad at me for saying this, but I think early in the year, some other games kind of went LSU's way, where they kind of had some breaks where, like Mississippi State fumbles that punt in Tiger Stadium, and LSU won all those games, and they've done a tremendous job. But I did listen to the show a little bit on the way over here. Joey Galloway said LSU played UAB, a game not many people watched, and they found a way to win. And I was like
kicking their ass.
Joey.
It was 41-10, you know. I guess just the way he worded it kind of, I mean, when they went to Arkansas, they found a way to win, you know.
Right.
Auburn.
And then, and it's nothing to do with LSU, but then they were talking about, well, you got to, you know, Tennessee's going to have to drop, and they're not going to get the kind of bowl game that they thought they were going to get because the quarterback is injured. And I thought that's kind of a slight on the team and what they've earned. They've won the games to this point. They, you know, deserve whatever bowl they can get now that they're out of the playoff discussion. But, yeah, it all comes down to, look, this weekend, Texas A&M, it's going to be one of two things. It's going to be if Jimbo Fisher is going to go to every podium, every microphone in the offseason and either be saying, well, we had a bad year, but we beat LSU last game, you know, top 10 team going all the way to the SEC West. We won our last 2 games. We're on the right projection. And if they don't win the game, then he really has nothing to talk about. Then we're 4-8. We had an awful year. And so this really gives Texas A&M the opportunity to give them a positive narrative to talk about all offseason if they somehow can pull this off. Yeah. But it's exciting, yeah, to think that it appears that in most people's projections, LSU controls their own destiny if they win these last 2 games in the playoff. But obviously, Georgia is going to be a huge hurdle to clear.
This weekend, what do you make of this weekend's matchup versus LSU? What type of A&M team do you think LSU will play against?
I was debating whether or not they truly are going to get on board with throwing everything at this game and the hair on fire, and this is our opportunity, this is our bowl game. I mean, obviously they are going nowhere when this game ends. They're home for the holidays. But are really the players invested in that? Or are they really just their eyes on what team am I going to play for next year? Am I hitting the transfer portal? All those different things. My head is starting to lean towards the latter, that they may be ready to pack it in. Yeah. So, but I'm not sure about that. But, you know, and how many of the fans show up? How loud is it? You know, they fire that cannon and they do some quirky things over there. Those poor UMass players are just trying to pray before the game, and they fire that thing right at them, you know. So that was.
I think we should put DeQuano on an assignment on Saturday.
I thought about really.
How close can you get?
Well, he's not coming. He's got some family stuff. He's resting up for the SEC championship. So he's Drew Breesing it here in the regular season finale.
Got enough wins to make the playoff, huh?
Got enough content out there.
Yeah.
But I actually thought about staying up and going to do a spoof on the midnight.
Oh, Jacques.
Something like that. We got some stupid Cajuns coming over here thinking we're gonna, doing one of those things. But I guess I'm getting old. I don't know if I can stay up to midnight and watch that stuff.
Jacques, what a piece that would be.
They don't even know they're agricultural mechanical
So
college.
you going?
Yeah, we're going. We leave Friday. Gonna go over there Friday. So I went there in 2020. That was weird. They probably had the biggest, loudest COVID crowd that season. Them in Florida State in the swamp that year. Florida in the swamp that year. But yeah, Jimbo, it's real interesting. I don't want to pile on, but you look at it, they've got to be saying Brian Kelly inherited a mess, and he's in the SEC championship in his first year, and Jimbo's in his fifth year, and we haven't gotten there, So his best year was the COVID year. They were 9-1 that year, but you don't want to have your best year during the COVID year, the least exciting year in the history of college football. So, right. They're on the hook for so much money. I don't see how they can make a move even over there with their big wallets. But what do you think about that?
Jay, I think that it's in a bad place. I think it's if he feels very Les Miles 2013-ish, like in the middle of just it was at its worst when he was hearing the pressure of, man, you got to change your offense. And he was saying, I got, it's not as bad as y'all think it is. We can keep doing what you're doing. But there was so much job security behind Miles that he knew that he had the leverage. He had, and I don't think that Jimbo's playing those types of games with A&M. I don't know it well enough, but it looks outside looking in when he's asked, like, is this enough evidence that you need to see that you've got to make a change? He's still kind of like excusing what's happening, right? Like, I don't see him ultimately like handing over play calling duty control to somebody. I don't see that type of change. And, if I'm looking up and 5 years into these resources, this is the product that you get in return. It's a bad place.
Our friend Josh Pate, I told him, I said, well, you're not Carrot Top with the props and everything, but the best, that was hilarious when he brought out the milk carton and it said expired 2014, describing Jimbo's offense and everything and the way it's going. So, yeah, they've got big-time resources over there, very interesting dynamics. When we used to go, when we've been there in the past, I've interviewed Scott Woodward on the field before the game as the athletic director of Texas A&M because he was the Baton Rouge native. And I remember in 2016 we were over there. That was when the LSU coaching situation was all up in the air. We didn't know. That was the Tom Herman night. Tom Herman's the leader to get the job. And then by Saturday morning, Ogeron had gotten the job. And I remember interviewing Scott Woodward. Oh, LSU's a great school. They're going to get a great coach. So I was kind of asking, what are the keys to getting a good coach?
Can you come home and make this hire?
So it's interesting. I guess I wonder how Scott feels about that. He hasn't been the AD there since 2019, but that is the coach he hired, and it's not working out.
I think he made a run at Jimbo. I really do. I don't think that stuff was smoke. I think that A&M extending him was
a result of LSU.
I think that was absolutely a reaction to Scott Woodward's relationship with Jimbo, and that he still sees something in him that they were at LSU together. They formed a great relationship when they were at LSU. I don't think people underestimate how good of friends they are. They're real close in the sense of when Jimbo was at LSU and the offensive coordinator and Scott Woodward was in his government relations role when he was young, up and coming in athletic departments. They were the same age. They had the same interest.
Yeah.
They were around the same people. They really kind of, melted it to one another. They became really good friends. And I think when this job opened up, he trusts him so much and respects him as a football coach that I think he ultimately had I don't know if he offered him the job, but I think he had enough of a conversation with him where it made Texas A&M react.
Well, his LSU legacy is very, very secure. He came into a situation after 1999. I mean, look at Josh Booty's statistics in 1999 and look at them in the year 2000. Rohan Davey the same. Look what he did with Rohan Davey. Look what he did with Jamarcus Russell. Many quarterbacks, improving them. And then he gets to Florida State, and everything is on the up and up, and he wins a national title, and then the next year he makes a playoff. I think A&M's kind of been the downward trajectory of his career. I know Florida State was starting to go downhill before he left, but
I think he saw it kind of like, I need to bail before this thing sinks.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like Urban Meyer Florida-ish.
Yeah, right.
Like, I got to get out of here. I mean, it's about to get really bad over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done as much as I can.
Right.
Like, this is all I've gave, considering the resources that Florida State offered, this is the best that we could do. And he goes somewhere where nearly it feels like he has unlimited resources and he gets the opposite results, which is why I think it's interesting. If you're an A&M fan and you see the way that Jimbo's run the offense with the resources they have, why would they not do what LSU did or insert School X, where it's go get a young offensive coordinator that Jimbo can have a hand in the offense, but you have somebody that brings in an actual offense, like a Bryles, like somebody like that. It seems like that would be an obvious A&M move.
I never want to compare Les Miles to Jimbo because they seem so different. But if he does not change or he brings in a coordinator, whatever the Cam Cameron version is of his buddy, Jimbo Fisher, and they don't change, I mean, it's going to be very similar.
Damian Craig, Damian Craig is kind of his. It's kind of his Cam Cameron. It's kind of his guy that he's had with him the whole time. He moves him around the staff. He's gone from like wide receivers coach to running backs coach to specialty.
Quarterbacks coach right now.
Yeah, you just kind of put him where you can hide him. Fantastic Funky Bunch says the same thing. Timeout. Les Miles never had a losing season, period. Jimbo way more underwhelming than Miles. Just saying. I know it doesn't matter really, but screw that. I'm not comparing the. I'm talking about exactly what he just mentioned. The stubbornness.
Yeah.
It feels like people are kind of like pleading with him of, now have you seen enough where you need to change? And he's like, well, whoever you bring in here, a smash route's a smash route. Corner route.
The version of the engine is pretty stinking good. The engine. You want to get rid of Leonard Fournette? You want to overhaul the engine?
He's like, he doesn't see it.
Now, what would he have done at LSU? I don't know. We don't know what Jimbo Fisher would have done at LSU. But we always listen to Garth Brooks calling Baton Rouge. There's another song he had called "Unanswered Prayers," Lloyd, and and did. Would have Jimbo fit? What would he have done at LSU? We don't know. But the big flirtation at the end of 15, some flirtations again in 16, and then some talk last year, and all three of those things didn't work out. And you get the 2019 season, and now you've got Brian Kelly, and everything appears to be heading in like this for the next whatever years.
Either way, right? LSU is going to Atlanta in year one, and they have an opportunity to play themselves in to the college football playoff Final Four if they win out. Do you expect them to be in the Final Four if they win out? Do you expect this to happen?
I think that's the way that's all the talking heads were saying that. It'd been real interesting to see what would have happened. I heard you on the way over here talking about those two games that were running parallel to each other, the TCU game and then the Michigan game. Both of those teams were right on the cusp of losing and found a way to win. And yeah, LSU's right there at number 5. Georgia's the defending national champion. They've looked like the best team in the country overall all year. The game will be played indoors. Elements will not be part of it in the SEC championship. Yeah. Georgia will have a lot of fans there. They'll be in their backyard. The LSU fan in you wants to say, hey, look, this is 2001 all over again when Tennessee was the big-time favorite and LSU was the up-and-coming team and shocked the world. But, it's going to be an exciting day. LSU obviously has to take care of business this weekend. If somehow they slip up at A&M, then the potential of the magnitude and the opportunity of the SEC championship game goes away to an extent. But, looking at the bowl projections, everyone still seems to have LSU playing Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl. But to make the playoff, what are the two playoff locations? Where is it Fiesta?
Is one not the Sugar?
No, the Sugar Bowl is 11 a.m. on New Year's Eve, right?
Right.
In New Orleans. I thought it was just stood on its own. I didn't think it was a playoff game this year. The two playoff games that night It might be the Rose and the Fiesta. I don't know.
I would love for LSU to be able to play in the Rose Bowl.
It
You
is
know,
the
something like this.
Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl.
Fiesta and Peach. Okay, so they could be right back in Atlanta, perhaps. Or does it say who's 1-4 and 2-3 and all?
It does not.
So, yeah, I just can't believe we're having this conversation. You know, I mean, you know, the first game of the year, you had two unranked teams, LSU and Florida State. They wobbled around and missed extra point. To think that day you'd say, oh, they're going to beat Alabama, and they're going to go to the Swamp, and they're going to go to Jordan-Hare, and they're going to win all these tough games. It was just hard to believe. But, you know, leadership, guys buying into the process, people stepping up when called upon, and Noah Kane, you know, stepping up when needed. See how big a role he plays this weekend as well. You know, I would hope Josh Williams would be back and recovered, but he might be still a little banged up. And, you know, John Emery, you know, he's the last person in the world that wants to fumble that ball after he fumbles in the beginning. You know he's got to be trying not to fumble, and they rip it out twice. So, and that's a situation too. Can you trust John Emery against Georgia when you know you're going up against defensive piranhas who are going to be ripping at the ball? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacques Doucet from WAFB. You can follow him on Twitter at Jacques Doucet from our news partner right down the street. And have you had a chance to watch LSU basketball? I know that they had a big win yesterday. They're tough to find, the streaming service, the flowhoops.com, I believe it is.
I paid for it. I'm going to have to get expensed by Rob Hayes, the news director there. Yeah, they give you one option to buy it for a month.
Yeah.
And it's like $50, and then buy it or buy it for a year, or buy it for a month for $50, or buy it for a year for $12. It's like, well, who's gonna take that option?
Right.
So it's you know, they're getting $14, $15 out of you. You know, it's kind of a high school broadcast to an extent. I edited the highlights. They played Illinois State on Monday. Illinois State, I think, was 5-13 in the Mountain Valley Conference last year, 13-20. But LSU, I mean, dominated them. And then KJ Williams had 33 points in that game. And then yesterday, Adam Miller, Ace Wolf, had 23 points. And 40 LSU outscores Akron in the second half, 40-23. Really pulled away there. So tonight, I think they play in this championship game against it's Nevada or somebody else there. But it's a chance for for a team to win a championship of some kind, a trophy, and have some early season success. And
Nevada or K-State?
Nevada or K-State. Okay, there you go. And then Kim Mulkey, I went and watched him for the first time in person against Northwestern State the other day. And Angel Reese, man, a 6'3" post player who gets out and defends on the perimeter, steals the ball, can push the ball, dribble with either hand up and down the floor. I mean, they got some exciting player. And Flajay Johnson, a true freshman, she steps out there. This ain't no big deal, I mean, they haven't played South Carolina yet or anything like that, but she gets out there and is raining trays, and
they
Alexis
got some
Morris looks
firepower,
great.
Man. I mean, they've hung 100 on everybody, right?
5 straight games with 100 points, which they first said was believed to be a record, and then they said, well, the last time it happened was 81-82 when Kim Mulkey was playing for the Texters, Louisiana Tech.
Wow.
So when they were wearing those uniforms.
Like baseball uniforms almost.
Yeah, they had these sleeves and all that. So, yeah, it's they look well. I mean, it's early on, but Matt McMahon looks like a good coach. They look well coached so far to me.
Holiday plans, JD. You mentioned that you're leaving on Friday. Do you get a day off? How does this work?
Going to go to Lafayette for Thanksgiving, visit family, and then get up on Friday morning and drive to College Station. It looks rainy around here before that, but the game day looks like it's going to be clear and the weather's going to be good. So and then I guess after that, turn around and then get ready to go to Atlanta. The SEC Championship, I told you about this last week. The SEC Championship doesn't have the media availability and stuff like that I thought they would. It's really just like a regular season game, which LSU will go in there on Friday and then play the game on Saturday. There's no offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, players. I think there's like a Zoom on a Thursday, and that's it. So.
Wow.
I used to think it was the 2 head coaches and the trophy, and they would have a press conference, but apparently that's not going on either.
Do you remember? Was it like that in 19? We were at the game. I don't remember the build-up during the week, but I want to say we got there like on Friday too. It wasn't like a big to do. I mean,
I had to go back. I want to say that Kirby and Ogeron did a press conference, but and then that was one of the few times where you could go into a locker room after the game. And you can't do that anymore either, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I remember going to the locker room after they'd won and interviewing all the guys, but that's not going to happen this time.
Stingley had a huge game that day.
2 interceptions.
If you recall. Yeah, he had a big game. And he was, I believe, the defensive player of the game, and obviously Burrow was the offensive player of the game. Have you had a chance to watch Georgia play? I mean, do you get an idea of –
I was going into our system with our gray media stations and downloading video, and I downloaded some video. I mean, they went to South Carolina and hammered them that day. That was early in the season, looking at some of that stuff. And then last week, a lot of people say, oh, there's, chinks in the armor or whatnot because they struggled against Kentucky, and I don't know. You get in trouble when you start comparing scores. I mean, how do you predict that Florida is going to beat South Carolina 38-6, and then the next week Florida loses to Vanderbilt and South Carolina scores over 60 on Tennessee? So, I mean, Kirby, he's built that team on strength and conditioning and defense and intimidating opponents and wearing you out and whatnot. But Stetson Bennett, could he be had? Could he have a bad game? I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll take a harder look at it next week. But, I mean, their body of work has proven that they're the best team in the country at this point.
Yeah. I thought about you on Monday. We didn't have a chance to be at the press conference, but I was watching it live, and I thought that it was a very informative press conference from Kelly. He stayed up there for an extended amount of time. He doesn't dodge any questions, even by, like, fake answers. Like, he doesn't, not like saying like no comment. He doesn't even like try to dance around and not give you anything. He usually is very forthright, very honest in his answers, and kind of well thought out on everything before he speaks.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean,
I agree. And from a media standpoint, I know that you appreciate that, and I feel the same way. I mean, that you can go there and get something, right? You can take something away from after hearing him speak. You've been here for, you've covered this program for a while and have seen personalities come in and go. How have you seen the way he talks? I mean, even like the mental edge meeting before the game that he's having with the team, that he kind of gave some insight on to the way that he kind of goes into his pregame prep. What has it been like covering Kelly now for a football season?
I appreciate Michael Bonnet and those guys making the press conference 25 minutes or so, and that's what they do. If you watch Nick Saban's Monday presser, they got that thing down to 8-9 minutes, and they ain't going over 8-9 minutes. It's in and out, and so I appreciate the fact that we're, everyone's allowed to ask some different questions, and I thought he gave a real good answer to the question I asked. I'd been having a lot of people ask about Quincy Wiggins and how is he doing and everything, and I thought he gave a very polite, well thought out answer. I mean, the guy knows football, and he speaks football. And, like the radio show on Thursday and now Wednesday, it's less of the maybe entertainment and some people would say hokey stuff, but it's more football, meat and potatoes. And, I mean, I watched that press conference a couple of times. We all had I think some of us had a impression of him that he was this kind of impolite, grouchy guy, but I don't think he snapped one time at anybody in the media at any kind of press conference since he got the job almost a year ago. So, I enjoy the press conferences, and I think he gives good answers on everything, like you said, and he's a professional. All these people that, a year ago we were talking about who was LSU going to hire as the head coach, and could Lane Kiffin have won here big? Probably, maybe. But you see Lane Kiffin going back and forth with this reporter and who said he's going to Auburn and having some fun. That's the kind of stuff that LSU didn't want to have here anymore. And so, you look at Jay Johnson and you look at Kim Mulkey. Well, Kim Mulkey's her own, great thing. But you look at Matt McMahon, Brian Kelly, and Jay Johnson. They all kind of fit this kind of business-like, straight-ahead, process-oriented. That's another thing. Brian Kelly's all about the process, and that was the same thing Nick Saban talked about over 20 years ago. We don't look at the scoreboard. We don't let the scoreboard affect our effort. We give 100%, and we don't, whether it's UAB we're playing, and that was the most impressive thing to me, Jordy. On a night, I've got the best job in the world, but I did not want to go to work last Saturday. It was so miserable out there, cold, rainy. It's like, can we just watch this? And God bless the photographers that were on the sideline for 3.5 hours and whatnot. But the fact that they went out there, and beat them 41-10. That game could have easily been a 17-3 game or one of those. Let's just get through it. But they were pros and went out there.
Found a way to win.
Find a way to win. Right, exactly. Joey Galloway found a way to win. But we're assassins, like they talk about, and just hammered that. That gives me confidence. If they go out there as focused and as sharp as they did against UAB, then why wouldn't they do that at Texas A&M? So, and I thought it was a great step back for the offense. Jaden Daniels looked great. The offense looked great. Got Jack Besh back involved a little bit.
I agree.
So,
what do you think of Kiffin to Auburn?
Well, the question I have, Jordy, is okay, Ole Miss, we kind of decided that they won't win a national championship. Auburn won a national championship in 2010 with Cam Newton. They played for another one in 2013. So Auburn on the surface looks like you got a much better opportunity to win a national championship than Ole Miss. The stadium's much bigger. It's a 90,000 seat stadium. Ole Miss is 62 or whatever. But I mean, if you're dealing with the Yellowwood guy, he's Yellowwood. Yeah, the boosters at Auburn who constantly medal and whatnot. Does he want to deal with that? And he's the kind of personality that won't deal with that. I think But I'm the head coach here. So. I mean, what do you think? I think there's a reason why guys, I know everyone's piling on Billy Napier right now because he's not having success. But, look, I don't want to be a hypocrite going into the LSU Florida game this year. I kind of said, look, whoever wins this game, you need 3 or 4 years down the line to judge who really made a good hire or who didn't and whatnot. But Napier, I think, also passed on that Auburn job or looked at it and said, I don't know, but this is the right spot for me. So – I don't know, man. I mean, and to go in conference, right? Not only in conference, but in your division, and then you've got to be dealing with the Ole Miss stuff every year, playing them where you just came from. He's been a job hopper, Does he want to prove, hey, I'll stay at a place for a while and build success? They're not going to fire Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, right? Sure. Not winning 9-10 games a year.
Right. JD, great to see you.
All right, thanks for having me.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll have some good stuff this week. On the theme of family and Thanksgiving, Todd and Brian Kinchin came by yesterday.
I saw that.
Shot a nice interview with them, and talking about their careers and watching LSU, whatnot. It's so funny, you can have two guys can come from the same parents and be so different.
Unreal. It's unreal how different they are.
Different personalities. I'm supposed to go talk to Noah Kane today too. It's your over at Gordon.
Gordon, yeah.
I wonder where he's spending Thanksgiving. I think he's going back to. I guess he's from here, right?
Yeah, he's from here.
Baton Rouge. I was thinking Penn State.
Well, he's got his family in Dallas, and then he's got family here as well. JD, the best in the business over at WAFB. Make sure you catch up with him on Twitter at Jacques Doucet, and he'll be in College Station covering the Aggies and the Tigers to wrap up the regular season.
Like this?
There you go.
Jacques, if you could stay up. If you could stay up.
Sway back and forth.
Get to kiss a girl.
What was the relay race last week with the towel and the guys up in the
I think that was just a man, but that was on his own volition. I think that was just a fan. I think he was bored.
Yeah.
They were just trying to put something together.
Enjoy it, Jacques.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be back with
Kinda
more of the
jealous.
Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
See the freak show.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
I was excited to come to a top level program. I've been at a lot of great places, been very fortunate in my career, but to really say that you have an opportunity every year, once we get it rolling, to win a national championship, there's not very many places that you can say that. So for him to offer me the opportunity to come with him to LSU was nothing but humility and gratitude. Some Sunday players in that room. But again, it's got to be the total package, the total process of buy-in, of understanding what we're trying to get done. of figuring out how we wanted to get done, but also allowing those guys to be able to play with instincts. For example, I think Jay Ward is long and athletic. He's very versatile. He's played corner, played nickel, played safety. Very excited about Joe Fouché, one of the transfer guys that we came in because he has a dimension of physicality. Major Burns, fortunate enough that he was able to come back home. Again, he's long, he's athletic, so he gives you flexibility between both field and boundary safeties. And then you've got some guys that you can throw in like Brooks, Sage, Derek Davis. Todd Harris is a guy that's been around for a while. So I think that we have enough in that room to be successful. But again, you still want to continue to grow and be able to push it.
Yeah, well, I think it starts here, and we have a good bit of people on this particular staff who are from Louisiana, who know and believe in our hearts that this place produces the best football players in the country, and I think the numbers speak for themselves. Per capita, produce the most NFL players, you know what I mean? So even from an analytical standpoint, it makes sense to take the kids from here because the chances of them playing in the league are higher than if they come from anywhere else. I think our brand is super powerful, so we will have to recruit at a national level, or there's really no reason that we shouldn't, you know what I mean? Because if we can get a top player from another state who can help us win a championship, then of course, right? But I think it starts right here in Louisiana and then right here in Baton Rouge. There's some really good players who are still available that are right here in Baton.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at JordyCulottaShow.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
All right, welcome back here to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our friends over at Mr. Fun's Travel. Jason Ramazan and his crew have a package that they put together for the SEC title game coming up next Friday. coming home on Sunday. That's December 2nd through December 4th. You get it up to you got to get to Atlanta, but then he's got two-night hotel package that is involved with this trip with some tickets to the game. If you want, you can hop in right now at MrFundsTravel.com as they've got a couple of rooms left. This is a very popular trip, obviously, with the Tigers going to Atlanta for the SEC title game. And with just a couple of rooms left, get over to Mr. Funds Travel and secure your spot today. Great holiday gift idea for you and a loved one, you and the kids, anybody who would love to go watch LSU take on Georgia for the SEC title game. Take out all of the headaches with our friend Jason Ramazan over at Mr. Funds Travel. MrFundsTravel.com is the easiest way to do it and find out how you can be involved in the next trip, and that is following the Tigers to Atlanta to take on Georgia for a title in the league with a college football playoff berth on the line. So check it out online, MrFundsTravel.com, MrFundsTravel.com. Taking your mailbag questions just like we do every Wednesday here on the Jordy Culotta Show. So if you want to get involved here via text, you can. Remember, our phone line is open at 225-229-7741. 225-229-7741 is the phone number. You can text in, you can call in, you can leave a voicemail. You can obviously jump inside the chat and ask your questions if you would like. Hopefully we can stay on top of all the questions that are coming in. We have a limited staff here this morning. Katie is visiting family for Thanksgiving. Obviously, it is the holiday season, so we urge you to stay safe and enjoy them as you're out there.
Does Thanksgiving rank for you on the holiday?
Very high.
Really?
Very high. I'm a big Thanksgiving guy.
Big walk the dog guy?
I've lost. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm walking with my cousin.
I am. I've lost a little bit of the. Christmas has lost its fastball for
Absolutely.
me. It was rejuvenated. I took a little. Took a little performance enhancing drugs on Christmas when the kid came along. Kind of rejuvenated me, brought me back to life.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like,
that's right. Brought it back full circle for you.
Yeah.
But the kid, boosted a little life of energy into Christmas. Now he's kind of on the first wave of being a little too cool for Christmas.
Yeah, the big man isn't coming down.
Right. He knows all the secrets. He thinks he knows all of it.
And he wants expensive things, I'd imagine at this point, like PlayStation.
Yes, he
5,
wants unreasonable
new
stuff.
shoes.
Right, unreasonable stuff.
Maybe we're talking about
exactly
12.
Yes, he'll be 12 in January.
Yeah. This is the perfect time, though. If you're him, this is a great birthday time because this is when you get you can get cool gifts. Like you're old enough to get like a PlayStation. Yeah. You get what shoes you like, but they're all expensive if you're the buyer. I would imagine because
Absolutely.
you're like, damn it, he has good taste, but
yeah.
I don't want to spend $180 on the new Zions.
Jeez.
Got shoes on your feet, kid.
Right. So Christmas has kind of lost it. Thanksgiving has always been a steady, consistent performer. You know what I mean? Like you could always count on Thanksgiving to be relaxing, good food, cozy. You're off. It's usually in the middle of the week where, it's in the middle of the work week. So you get a couple of days
off.
Yeah, a little
Everybody's
graced around it.
Yes.
Everybody's in a good mood.
Are y'all big family or are people coming in from all over or do you keep it tight?
Big family. We have my sister has a place outside of Baton Rouge where everybody goes. So we'll all leave.
Same spot every year?
Same spot every year.
Oh, see, it's a tradition.
Yeah.
You'll have tradition. We hop around a little bit, but now it used to always be in Alexandria, but now we hopped around a little bit. But the thing about the Thanksgiving is when it comes to be one too many people or one too many families that you didn't expect to be there, and that's when we're like, you don't get what we're trying to do here. And that's what you have to worry about is the table talk. That's the only time it gets a little dicier on Thanksgiving. It's like, I don't really want to go down this path with you.
Yeah.
I don't think we're on the same page at all. Pass the gravy.
Oof, gosh, what a nightmare.
And so, yeah, but Thanksgiving is up there because you're only required to do a few things. Eat, clean, I would imagine. If you wanted to help out in the kitchen, you can. Because some people take it too far where I would imagine it's very stressful for some, where you're trying to get all the Thanksgiving stuff ready. But if you're just a participant, there's nothing better. I'm watching football, eating, I can crack this beer at like 11 a.m. and nobody says anything.
Great day for the alcoholics.
Yeah, game's on. Like, what do you want me to do? My hands are tied. Macy's Day Parade.
It's a holiday off. What do you want me to do?
Get off my back.
How to go to work?
Yeah.
They kicked this game off.
What are you talking about?
Are they playing in Detroit yet? Yeah. The Detroit-Buffalo game's going to be good.
It is.
It'll be sneaky good.
Get to see, the turducken makes a return, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Is this the first year without John? Or was he passed before?
Oh, I don't know it. I don't know that well enough.
Because I don't know if this is the first time, then they're going to have a big turducken special. Open up the old films.
From Abers. That's where you got it.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
Put him on the map.
That's pretty incredible.
That is.
The story of how he would bring that to every Thanksgiving game, and it originated in Maurice, Louisiana.
What is this? I'll be having that. Send it to Monday Night Football. Like, what? Okay.
But I think that Thanksgiving is a great holiday. I think it's low key. It's good football. It's good food, family. It's all good, man. So everybody out there enjoy it. If you've got a text, if you got a call, if you want to get involved, we got something here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to read it. Hashtag mailbag. I don't know who this is. Why is Joel Klatt so insecure about his micro penis? Fire this text off.
I think that Joel Klatt has been – I can't imagine that somebody watching college football can be that passionate yet ignorant on – where the best football is played. And I understand why he flies that flag and why he does that. He gets a paycheck from the television company that plays those conferences games. He calls those conferences games. So for us to believe that he's not going to be biased, the joke's really on us, right? I mean, you have to watch Klatt knowing what message he's moving or he's trying to get out there. So he almost has to play that role of, my eyeballs are popping out of my head, that I'm losing my mind so much that I got to get a podcast down in South Louisiana to talk about it. This is the first time we've talked about Joel Klatt on this show, I believe, all year. Because, really what he takes, what he says, I take with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like Greg Sankey getting up and defending the SEC. Like, we get it. It's your league. You have to do this. You draw a paycheck from them, right? From a Klatt's standpoint, he's pulling money in from those conferences by calling the games. He's got to get on national television and on national podiums and do that because he knows deep down inside that it's a long shot, right? And the stuff that everybody is realistically talking about and how this thing can play out, continues to be a long shot for his leagues. And I expect that from him. You know what I mean? Like, I expect that, just like Danny Cannell. When I listen to Danny Cannell in the morning with, they have a, to me, I love their show, Dusty and Danny in the morning on Sirius Channel 84 on XM Radio or in Sirius Radio. And I listen to it every morning on my bike ride and, listen to it while I'm getting ready. I appreciate their knowledge, the information they have, but I also expect Cannell to kind of be an ass when he's talking about the SEC because that's just his shtick. He played in the ACC. He calls games in the ACC. He has gone up against the SEC giant on national platforms for years now. It's kind of his brand. So when you tune in and listen to him, he's got good college football takes. He's got good takes, and especially on things outside of the SEC. When the league comes up, he gets clouded, and it's very obvious. You can feel I'm not even watching the show. I'm listening to the show only, and I can feel his blood pressure rising. You can feel his body language changing when the league comes up. So, you know what I mean? Like, in all walks of this business, people are trying to be fair, balanced, unbiased. You're not going to find it. You know, I'm from Baton Rouge. I've been watching LSU all my life. I'm biased to LSU. I didn't play for LSU. I don't have ties to the school other than, you know, I'm from here. I went there. I have watched the program play my whole life. When the arguments come up on a national, regional league perspective, I'm going to be biased to LSU. It's just the way it is. Danny Cannell's going to be biased to Florida State. He's going to be biased to the ACC. He played for them. He played in that league. That's what he knows. I mean, Scott Van Pelt, he's biased to Maryland. That's where he went. You know, I mean, he moved the entire show from Connecticut to Maryland, you know, so he could go home. Okay, I'll still tune in and watch, but I'm tuning in watching knowing that if Terrapin basketball comes up, Van Pelt's going to show his loyalty to them. He's going to show his bias to them. It's okay. You know, I mean, everybody in this business has some inkling, small amount of bias to the school, the league, the region of where they come from. They just do. And, you know, when you listen to people, watch people, if you ever talk to them off the record, if you interview them, you pick that stuff up. And Klatt is just waving the flag for the person that cuts his check. That's all he's doing. You know what I mean? And that's, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the Final Four being set, he knows he's more likely to be on the outside looking in, and he's trying to stomp his feet and pound his fist for us to all look and talk about it. Nice job. Finally, in week 12, he got us.
Oh, we have another one coming in. If LSU had beat Florida State, wouldn't they be in the exact same spot they are right now?
I don't think that. I think that they would be more of a secure participant in the playoff right now. At this point, exactly where we're talking now, after a 2-loss Tennessee team, they've only lost one game on the entire season, and that would have been Florida State. They fell in the league to Tennessee. They did not fall to Florida State. They would have fallen to Tennessee in the league in the fashion that they did. It would have been a bad loss, but ultimately you're looking at a 1-loss SEC team that has won the West by week 9 with some pretty impressive wins. Florida State would have been a name brand win for LSU to put on their resume. You know, I can guarantee you that the Florida State faithful are
still beating their chest over that.
Definitely telling everybody that'll listen that they beat LSU this year.
And they're going to get in the playoff. How many losses does Florida State have? 3?
3. Cannell says best 3-loss team in America. Has been saying that for a while now.
Not bad.
Like a couple of weeks.
Have a take, don't suck. This is from Not Cool is Still Wide. Interesting. Not about sports necessarily. Don't be the D-bag by yourself in the gym tomorrow. Just take the day. So no Thanksgiving workout.
Please don't.
Yes. I would say even today. Or is today the last day you get before you go back home?
No, I did it today so I could eat.
Right,
like,
that's what I would say.
I
Today
could gorge
is like,
myself tomorrow.
Today's like the first day of New Year's.
Right.
When everybody's at the gym, you're like, oh, everybody, I won't see you again in a week.
Just trying to tighten up.
Yeah, but today you got a last chance.
For sure. But yes, tomorrow, ultimate D-bag move.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you, Niquilis. Thought you were still sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
Katie's in Mid-City, our favorite, will be down in New Orleans today. I'm doing the pizza challenge. I'm going down there and eating the St. Louis-style pizza. I'm going to see Scott Craig and the crew. Can't wait to get down to Iberville Street in the heart of New Orleans, right there at 3701 Iberville Street. Remember, you can find Katie's entire menu, and when I say entire menu, an incredible amount of selections. Katie'sInMidCity.com.
Hello?
Katie'sInMidCity.com. It's a great website. You can learn all about it. Been around since 1984. We'll be there today. I'm going to eat the pizza. You can find the review on social media. I know it feels a little barstoolish. I know that somebody's already cornered that market. I'm not going to try and grit somebody's brand. They got pizza. I'm Italian. I want to taste it. I'm going to give you a review. It's not something that we'll do a lot.
But don't look too much into it. You know, it's not that deep.
It's not. Kelly busted my balls last night on mine. She was like, "Does it Portnoy do that?" I was like, "Yes, he does." I'm not doing it to try and follow that. Katie's has pizza. That's it. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Calling from Mobile, Alabama. I'm LSU Green, man.
Yes, indeed. Jamarcus.
How y'all doing,
Shout
man?
out
Fella?
to J-Rock, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile's finest.
Hey, Bo. Hey, man, you had Crane on there earlier this week, and you asked him a question. I kind of think he kind of crawfished out of that question.
Mm-hmm.
And I know your belief in LSU could possibly beat Georgia because Georgia ain't playing up to par. And whatever you've been saying for the last 2 weeks, I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
They beatable. But the thing is, he kind of rubbed me the wrong way when he kind of gave them an excuse because of the weather in Kentucky and it was wet.
Yeah.
What about when we had the same 2 games last week and the week before? It was wet, and he didn't say anything about that. So I'm thinking he's still on that bandwagon as kind of saying LSU not powerful enough to go ahead and do the thing to Georgia, just like everybody thought we couldn't do it to Alabama. But appreciate y'all, man. Culotta, keep going, do your thing, babe.
I appreciate you, baby. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
No, look, I still think that there are people that are weary on LSU. Like we were just talking about bias, right? I think that people still outside of the market are still weary on who LSU is. We've mentioned Vegas the past couple of weeks. Vegas can't pinpoint them, right? Whether it's a 12.5 point spread versus Bama at home to a 3.5 point favorite on the road versus Arkansas to a 14.5 point favorite at home versus UAB. Out of the last 3 games that LSU's taken the field, Vegas has gotten them right once. They still, it's week 11. They still are not sure exactly who LSU is. So I still believe that there are people are out there that will excuse them. One thing that we all agree on, or at least, we've been pounding the message here, is that LSU could give a damn about what outsiders think, and that inside that locker room, they are a team that truly believes that they are the best in the country when they play right. I'm telling you, Brian Kelly, before the Arkansas game, talks to them as if they are the best team in the country. Whether you believe it, whether I believe it, whether everybody outside those walls believes it, they don't care. That's what they believe. And a team that believes, to me, is way scarier than the team with talent. Right? Like LSU's got enough talent to play with anybody. I think that they've proven that. Right? Now you're telling me that they are a team with enough talent to compete that believes they can beat anybody, pack them up, load them up on a plane, and take them anywhere to play anybody. Right? I think I kind of get that feeling from Brian Kelly. Like, go ahead, doubt us. You know what I mean? Like, please do. It gives us something that we can kind of throw more fuel into their tank throughout the week. Because, they're letting people know what, we asked Greg Brooks yesterday. Do you read it? Do your friends read it? Or is it just impossible to ignore? He fired right back. It's impossible to ignore. You know what I mean? Like, somebody out there is seeing it and going to tell us, whether I'm not reading it directly, speaking from Brooks's point of view, somebody in his circle's reading it, and somebody's relaying the message like, yo, bro, they're kind of still sleeping on y'all. Or they're showing y'all a bunch of love. Whatever it is, they're getting the message of what people say about them. What's your name? Where you calling from? Have a take, don't suck. Happy Thanksgiving.
This is Clem, man, from the Paris.
Yes,
What's
indeed.
up, Pausano?
What do you say there?
I'm getting ready to burn them redfish up tomorrow morning, man, and knock down some bird.
Getting ready to burn some other stuff, too, in the holidays, baby.
That's what I was waiting.
Hey, I got a couple questions for you real quick.
Yep, hit me.
Jordy, what do you think Keyshawn's finally going to have a breakout game? I've been hearing it all year. In this game, or at least catch a touchdown pass. And the other thing, and I'll let you go and I'll listen to you. Over under Hal Perkins 3 sacks in this game. I think he's going to have a real big game against this quarterback. You don't look too mobile to me. I know he's a little mobile, but not too much. And y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, man, and be safe.
Happy Thanksgiving, Cuzzo. Keep putting them in the boat.
All right, brother. I gotta take it easy, man.
All right, baby. You too. Harold Perkins over under 3 sacks. I would take the over there. I think that, at this point, Perkins is playing with so much juice. He's playing with so much confidence. He's playing with so much speed athleticism. I mean, one of the, another great part of LSU Gold is that they bring you in the locker room. They bring you on the sidelines. You see some of the conversations. You see the reactions of what's happening to the entire team, to Perkins when he makes those plays. And, I mean, it's contagious, and Perkins can feel it. I mean, you can hear the storyline that is budding around Harold right now nationally. Is he the best non-quarterback in the country? Is he the most impactful non-quarterback in the country? Whether he is or whether he's not, that's what people are saying. I mean, people are having that conversation about LSU's linebacker right now. And, I think he's playing at a level where he exceeds expectation. He's got a little bit of Tiger Woods quality, a little bit of LeBron to him, where everybody tunes in to watch his greatness, and you watch it and you're like, shit, he's better than I thought he was. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't expect him to be that good.
There's something to that. There's somebody that
there absolutely is something to that everybody knows they're watching me. Everybody knows they're here to see me. And then I go out and perform for them every single time. I mean, man, that's different level stuff. I mean, that's, by no means am I comparing the size and the scope, but that's what makes Brady, Jordan, Kobe. That's what makes those guys great, is that I'm paying the money for the ticket because I expect him to perform, and then I show up and he gives me 50. Damn, he's better than I thought he was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm buying the ticket. I want to go watch Harold Perkins play, and I show up at Arkansas, and he's got 3 sacks, hurries, and 2 forced fumbles. It's like, shit, I would have paid more.
Should have had a
I mean, damn, I got more than my money's worth on this. And if you don't think that Perk's got juice going to College Station, you know what I mean? Like, the school he was committed to, his high school is 45 minutes away from the facility. The school that he probably knows 90% of the roster on Texas A&M's team, probably texts back and forth with a certain percentage of them, probably talk shit to another percentage of them. I mean, he's probably coming over here with a different mindset than he's had for the previous 11. How scary is that? I mean, like, yes, give me the over on Harold Perkins' sack total 3. I forgot the other question. I've been on Perk so long. What was the other question?
It's a good question because I'm in the same boat. I was just thinking Harold Perkins.
Clint, if you're listening down in the parish, get inside the chat. Hit me with that second question. I mean, Perkins he's better than advertised. People, seriously, Tyrann Mathieu resides in a totally different place for me from an athletic standpoint at LSU. I would put Mathieu, Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Burrow's senior season. It was such a quick hit that, it was great. Burrow in that discussion. Those 3 for me are like untouchable, right? Like, they live on a planet by themselves. Mathieu, for the longest time in football, was someone I thought I would never see someone individually come in and affect a game at an SEC level every time. Like, every time you expect him to do something, he's going to do it, right? Like, Mathieu had that quality to it. Like, I want to pay to go watch him play, and then I show up and it's like, shit, he returned a punt in the SEC title game. He almost returned another one. He's got a forced foul. I mean, like, this cat he's better than I thought he was going to be. Harold Perkins is that. Like, wasn't there points at the Alabama game or the Arkansas game or even like the Florida game or the Auburn game when you looked up and you were like, holy shit. Like, this guy he's so special. I don't even know what class to put him in. Like, what am I even watching? I mean, like, he's so good, dominant, and can take over a football game. It's rare to see an individual take over a football game. Leonard can, make it look difficult to stop him. But take over a game, like, look unblockable. You can't bring him to the ground. You just catch everything. Makes all the passes. Just individually, you're like, I don't know what to do with him. We've tried everything. I mean, it's week 11. You know how many times defensive coordinators have game planned for this cat? I mean, some of the most highest paid defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators in college football have tried to scheme to get Harold Perkins either out of the play or off the field. I mean, hell, Brian Kelly nearly told you the plan after the Tennessee game. Like, hey, coach, why is it 40 out there? Well, there's some packages when we go man that he just can't fit in. I mean, Lane Kiffin was probably like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, we got to get him in these situations.
And then fast forward to Lane Kiffin going,
and then fast forward to what Lane Kiffin
in.
said. And then fast forward to what Lane Kiffin tweeted after the Arkansas game. Told you so. Told you when you play 40, it's a totally different team.
Y'all are welcome for that. Oh, and his other question was about Kayshawn.
Kayshawn. You know, I mean, I hope so. I'm pulling for him. I thought that would have happened by now if there were, you know, if we're waiting on a breakout game, if we're waiting on these big dominant performance, something like you saw his rookie year or something like we saw at UCLA last year, where every time he touched it, he felt like he was going to score. I guess we're not going to see that. I hope we do, just for the athlete's sake, for his sake. He deserves it. I hope he can be on one of these stages. I mean, all of the stages left for LSU are going to be grand. There's going to be a ton of eyeballs on that Texas A&M Saturday, just because of, you know, everything going into it. Going to be a ton of eyeballs on the SEC championship game a week from Saturday in Atlanta, and wherever they land in a postseason bowl, and maybe even a couple of bowls if they make it to the college football playoff, is going to be as big of a stage as the sport can offer. So he will have grand opportunities to be Kayshawn, and nobody's pulling for him more than me. And to be honest, I thought that it would have happened by now. I would be a little surprised if it happens moving forward, but he is who he is, and if he takes over a game, it wouldn't be shocking because he can do that. I hope it for his sake, but I would be a little surprised if he, you know, at this point did it, because I thought that it would ultimately have already happened.
All right, we got one more.
Yep.
Andrew Simon, my guy.
Oh, what up, Andy?
Do you 2 questions? What's happening, fellas? Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you. Do y'all think Jimbo throws everything plus the kitchen sink at LSU on Saturday, meaning he maybe he does revert back to old Jimbo and get maybe a couple of reverses, what have you, like updates the play sheet a little bit? And with Jaden Daniels having 1 year left, do you think he comes back, or do y'all feel he's ready for the NFL?
I do think that Jimbo's going to throw everything that he has at LSU, but I don't think that it's particularly LSU. I think he's been trying to do that. You know, I think that he's been at his wit's end. You know, I think that he's looking for answers over there, so he's willing to try anything. I know Caskey pulled up like a double reverse yesterday that they ran. You know, I mean, they're trying everything, man. You know, I mean, or at least what he believes, you know, to be
everything,
all of it. But you know, they look so bad. They look so, you know, discombobulated. They look so unorganized, where they look like they're just a far way off. They just look a long way off. So whether they throw the entire kitchen sink or not, it would just surprise me if they look functional, if they look organized. I mean, that's kind of where it is. It's where it is. And Jaden Daniels, you know, my stance on his shot at the next level is that up to this point, Jaden Daniels has done enough for, you know, Andrew, like you, to even ask the question, you know, for pro scouts to even wonder or be curious whether or not he's going to come back or go. So I think in that vein alone, it has been an enormously successful transfer year for Jaden Daniels. He's put himself in the discussion to come back or to go pro. You know, I think if you would have told him before the season, you will have that opportunity going into the last game of the year, you know, people will be debating whether or not you should come back. I'll be like, damn, all right, let's go, man. The good things are about to happen, right? And I feel like this on Jaden Daniels. I think that Daniels is the type of talent he has is almost a blueprint of what the NFL is looking for right now, right? I mean, they're looking for someone that is accurate with their passing and athletic enough with their feet that they can run. And Daniels just checks all of the boxes that come along with that, right? I mean, there's some things that you would hope that he would have if he's ultimately going to come out now, but that would give him an advantage if he came back. Things like adding weight and, you know, continuing to develop as a passer, things that you're not completely NFL ready for today, but in that league, it only takes one. It only takes one team to draft Tim Tebow in the first round, right? Something like that where, there could be a GM, there could be a head coach, there could be someone in a scouting department that has watched Daniels play up to this point and say, I love the kid. I think we should take him. I think that he's good enough that we can gamble into the future on whether or not he's going to develop because we've got the plan in place with a veteran quarterback that you don't have to get him in and start immediately. And, maybe there's somebody out there that can get to his representatives, can get to his, his representation and say, hey, look, if he comes out, we'll take him.
Baltimore.
Maybe there is that team that can get to him. But I think right now, as it sits of how it lies up to this point, I think it would well suit him to come back and improve his stock. He would have the possibility to hammer home that first-round grade. Have a take, don't suck. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Happy Thanksgiving, Lloyd, Jordy. It's Hunter Hall here in Birmingham.
Hunt.
Got a little brother coming to town this weekend trying to figure out if 22 points is enough in their beat-up Cadillac. I don't think it is, but, we'll see. I just had a quick question. Wanted to know the level of mad across college football if and when Alabama sneaks into this thing.
The melt would be just you couldn't imagine it. I think heads would explode. There would be people that would be jumping off of the top of the Atlanta Dome, not letting Alabama pull up. I mean, it would be look, there's one thing that's for sure. The committee loves Bama. They love Alabama. But there would have to be major, major, major chaos for any scenario to exist for Bama to get in.
It's up there. He sent it to me.
Georgia Tech would have to beat Georgia. LSU would have to beat Georgia.
You would want Georgia to beat LSU.
You would
because LSU would be sitting there 3 losses. So
Georgia would be in, and then you need USC to lose to Notre Dame.
Hunter, I don't even want to discuss it.
Kansas
I don't even
State.
want to talk about it. Y'all aren't getting in.
I know.
Y'all are not getting in.
I don't even like this version of the Alabama.
Yes, you shouldn't.
So.
I mean, even you having this discussion shows the slippage. I mean, really, it is. I mean, for you to have a plan devised to get in on this season shows the desperation that there is in T-Town.
What do you mean? We go to this party every year. What do you mean I'm not invited?
Right.
How do I get in?
Look, we all want Bill O'Brien to leave town as soon as possible. I don't think we want to stick around for two extra games. So.
Is Golden going to make it?
No.
No. Would you rather lose to Auburn this weekend?
No, don't you do this to me, Lloyd.
No, I'm just going to say.
No.
Would you rather lose to Auburn this weekend?
No.
So Auburn hires Cadillac. You don't have to worry about Lane going to Auburn.
No, let's take care of our own.
What is the feeling? What is the feeling in Tuscaloosa of Lane running Auburn?
I think 22. It is what it is. Let's just get through it and hope for some chaos. But
you dodged the question. What does Tuscaloosa? How does the fan base feel of Lane Kiffin being the head coach at Auburn? If that plays out, is there any concern? Truthfully, honestly, shoot me straight.
If he gets the Auburn job, are we concerned about it? No more than anywhere else in the SEC. I mean, I think Auburn and Ole Miss is pretty much a similar job. I think Lloyd hit it earlier in the week, and y'all gave him a lot of hell for it. But they got a little bit more NIL support, but it's be more the same for Lane, and he's always going to be looking for the next job. So,
and then he's
never happy where he is
until he's at Alabama again when Nick Saban leaves.
That's it. That's it. So the 3-6 bowl a couple of weeks ago when Cadillac ran around the field after the game. What an embarrassment! That's why I hate Auburn. I mean, you asked why I hate Auburn, and it was that night. I was like, that's it.
I
That's why I hate Auburn.
I doubt that it was that night that you figured out you hated Auburn. Happy Thanksgiving. It's great to hear from you, man.
Too.
All right,
Y'all
buddy.
too. Talk to you later.
Yep, there he is, Hunter Hall checking in from Tuscaloosa, from the dark side. As you can hear the desperation.
How do you
and the
what do you mean we
Tigers.
can't go? I mean, there's an avenue where Bama gets in. Like, no, there's not.
Get the hell
Can't
out of
be.
here. Get the hell out of here.
I got another text-in question if you want it.
Yep, hit me.
Good morning, fellas. This is Kenneth Balala. Not a question, but just wanted to thank y'all. Okay, just wanted to thank y'all for all you do for LSU sports. Y'all have made getting into more LSU sports than I normally do, so just wanted to say thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving and go Tigers.
You
Love
got it.
that.
Cody
Happy to
Worsham,
help.
sounds like a gold account should be gifted to the Culotta Show.
Ah.
Doing a lot of work for the gold.
A lot of work for the LSU gold.
I mean, I saw 2 people at dinner last night was like, I love the gold account. I was like, I don't work for.
Yeah.
He was like, no, seriously, man. I watched your show, and I got the gold membership, and it is incredible access. They got behind-the-scenes access with McMahon and the basketball team. They have found the success. They're doing. The great part about it is the production work. I mean, the hard part is the access.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, they have the access, right? I mean, they're on the campus. They are the brand. But you still have to present that in a very digestible, easy-to-follow, storytelling type of outline. And they're just doing great work, man. It's cool to see. And you learn stuff when you watch it, especially I know in this role when we talk about the program and you talk to certain people that are inside the building all the time and you get stories of what's going on and just, somewhat would perceive to be inside information. You can get all the inside information you want from LSU on watching the LSU Gold stuff. I mean, like, you see conversations that Kelly's having with the team. You see what the message is for the week. Things that we could get from people that have relationships to coaches, players, staffers, people that are in that building would tell you third hand, like Kelly spoke to the team today. This was his message, man. It was pretty powerful stuff. He really had, everybody's attention when he was talking about X, Y, and Z. And then you go to LSU Gold and you're like, oh, shit, here's exactly what he was telling me about. Look at this. It's right here. So it's great stuff, man. It's cool stuff.
Oh, Kasky with the Giga Maggies on the text line.
Gosh.
He's headed to
What
College
a
Station.
rough day.
He's headed there.
Rough time to be a gagger,
He said
gigger.
Gagger. He's
Whatever
going to,
it is.
Going to dip his ring again.
Ugh.
Apparently, you have to drink some beer for however long, whatever. He's
Just
telling me
win a
some
game.
story. Yeah. Too much tradition going around. They can't focus on
good
football.
Lord. You got dogs running around, got no cheerleaders, got fellas in white tights bouncing all around everywhere, playing like they got fake guns in their hand,
Yeah, they're
hissing at me like they're snakes. Just score a touchdown, bro.
Play football.
I mean, like, just win a game before we start talking about all the yell practices and weird stuff that happens over in Coltland.
And the little injury update on A&M. Monday's presser, Jimbo updated the health status of running back Devon Achane, who seems to be their only offense. Missed the last 2 games. He's very optimistic that he and Evan Stewart will return for LSU. However, suspensions of P.J. Williams and Denver Harris remain steadfast as they are suspended indefinitely. P.J. Williams was recently arrested and charged with possession of marijuana on Saturday, November 19th.
Hell yeah, bro. College Station is popping right now, dude.
It's
I mean, hell yeah, we want to go to A&M.
And then, who's the plug? My God, he's busy as hell.
Yeah, it's Speedy Noyle.
Yeah. Still can't believe he went there.
Allegedly.
But yeah, wait, it's Alex Caruso. That's who's the plug. He's the one that got caught first. All this thing went all downhill as soon as he started smoking weed at A&M. One of their own kind, in his own airport.
Yeah.
We're booking you. And he's like, what?
What do you mean, man?
Alex Caruso.
A-Chain. So, it'll look, if he's out, man, I think it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it seems like he's going to play, but he is their best player, so that's the only reason I was checking in to see. Oh, I got a little status update.
What?
I don't know. He just said, Kasky just sent me a link to Adam Schefter's Twitter, so I'm see if it's real or not, because I have been getting fooled by the fake check marks. Oh. Well. Maybe that's an opening for you, Kasky. Offensive line coach for the Cardinals was fired after he groped a woman in Mexico City. That is Mexico.
That'll do it. All right, Joshua from Iverstein's is here.
Who got a DUI too?
The Titans offensive coordinator.
It's like getting late in the year, boys.
He got booked at 4:34. He was bailed out at 5. Like he wasn't even there an hour.
We got to get on the plane.
Yeah, like Braves was like, bro, get to the office, man.
Let's see what we did right.
All right, we'll be back with Iverstein's. We're eating Thanksgiving food here. We'll talk to Zach Ewing from The Advocate. Will stop by and give us some picks. All of that coming up here. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway, right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the Capital Region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southernyecenters.com. That is southernyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southernyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy, Greg Brooks. Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference. Bet. Let's get it done.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com. All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Our friends from Iverstein showed up with some smoked turkey sandwiches with fresh cranberry sauce on it. Then I'm throwing some chips on
You caught him constructing.
sandwich.
Everybody
here.
needs to know.
Joshua from Iverstein's is here. Zach is here from The Advocate, too.
Get him right when he takes a bite.
Right when he takes a bite. We got a couple of more turkeys left at Iverstein's. Go ahead, Josh. I'm about to go in.
Yeah, dive in. We're having leftover turkey sandwiches, right? This is Friday. The kids are gone.
Sweep the kitchen.
Sweep the kitchen. What do we have? This is easy. I'm making this sandwich. I'm going out to my fire pit, or I'm going out, everyone's finally quiet. And I'm just having some leftover turkey and leftover cranberries. It seems like we always have leftover turkey and cranberries. Throw it on the bread. Boom. Done. Perfect. This cranberry sauce we have in-house. Sold. It also includes Louisiana Satsuma, so it's got the Satsuma.
I taste it now.
And cranberry, yeah, super good.
You wouldn't have told me, but
and I love the generic can cranberry, But this stuff is fire. So I did bring turkey. Never name your pets if you're going to eat them. So I don't have a name for it, but this is our big smoked turkey. We still have plenty of these bad boys in. We have some fresh turkeys as well. We will brine them for you, so it's not too late if you were kind of running around.
Easiest way to just stop in right now, huh?
Yeah, just swing on in.
For the turkeys.
For the turkeys, yeah.
I mean, if you need it tomorrow.
I don't name my pets anyway, so
Yeah, there you go.
It's just cat and dog.
It's cat.
Because you're gonna eat them.
It sounds like
I got to keep my options open.
Yeah. Depends on how I'm gambling.
The heater goes out.
Yeah.
Got to pay off the man somehow. When
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
What's the holiday plans?
Low key, man. Low key. Going over to the in-laws. They always do a fantastic spread. My baby girl's 16 months now, so just starting to walk and explore and have a little fun. So this is going to be kind of it's her second Thanksgiving, but her first conscious one of being able to
remember something.
Maybe, I don't know. If
You're first one chasing her anyway.
Yes, that's right. So she's toddling around. So just do that, and it's going to be kind of, and then leftovers and football. I know, big game on Saturday, and then Sunday my Niners play the Saints. So it's I actually get to watch a 49er game on TV.
I'm almost choking.
Yeah.
What's your contribution? You have to make anything tomorrow? The in-laws?
I didn't know. I haven't asked anything. So my wife made a Mississippi mud pie.
Okay.
And I asked her why she didn't make a Louisiana mud pie.
You should save that for the bedroom.
And she said it's Mississippi because of the river, not the state. And I said, "Wow, dad joke over the head."
She got you.
Yeah.
She got you.
Yeah.
Wait, so are you bringing any sides from Iverstein's? Because that would be my play if I were you. If they expected something from you,
I have last couple
cranberry sauce.
Last couple, I'm going to bring the cranberry sauce. The last couple years, I have brought over the bread pudding and some boudin rice dressing. So we actually sold out of sides. I told you that last Friday was the last day, and we were sold out. But we have breakfast sausage for your homemade dressing. We have boudin, which makes an excellent dressing. So tons of options for you.
Yeah, so you can still put something together. It's just not. You just have to now require
That's
a little
right.
bit more effort on your end.
And if you like something different than turkey, then come on in. We have you prime rib. We have pork crown roasts. We can do you a Boston butt. We can do you a Chateaubriand, which is French for a whole fillet.
Somebody's got a question for you. What's the best way to cook prime rib?
That's what I'm doing for Christmas. Ooh, I like that. I was just thinking about it because I'm going to do it two ways. I'm going to get a whole roast. I've done it in the oven. I don't think you can go wrong. Classic. Just kind of steady roast it. I'm going to go on the smoker this Christmas.
How long?
First one?
This is going to be my first time because I've known a lot of people. I used to just kind of do the oven because you get a nice base, you get a nice crust on it. And then it's easy, kind of cut it. And if somebody wants it, I always cook it medium rare. And if somebody wants it, then it's easy to just have the cast iron with a little butter. Just kind of.
You going pre-season smoke, or you just going your first one's going to be game day?
Game day.
Oh,
wow! I think I'm gonna. Yeah, okay. I think I've done enough stretching and practicing and working.
We're not talking about practice.
Yeah.
Not a game.
Practice?
No, my bad.
No, but that's a good idea.
No disrespect.
It actually gives me a reason to buy a whole one and do half. one day. You're right, for my birthday, and then half.
You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
Great idea. So I would say the biggest key to remember is I like wrapping it with a nice little salt.
Okay.
And a cheesecloth at least 24 hours before you go to cooking your prime rib. People do rosemary, pepper, stuff like that, but if no one has told you and you didn't really have an idea, the only actual seasoning that's going to seep into your meat is salt.
Oh, wow.
The rest of them will stay on top. You won't get that flavor inside the meat. You can get salt flavor. Salt will penetrate, which is why a lot of the old-time preserving of meat before, we had freezers and ice boxes and everything was salt blocks.
Wow.
So that will penetrate. Your peppers and everything won't. So I usually add that on before I cook it.
No injections?
I don't like injections. I know that's like
taboo.
I didn't know you were going to
Some
get
people
political.
do. Like if you're doing a brine, I've had them. They're really good. I just have never gotten into it. I've seen some people. It's like they buy a 10-pound bird. By the time they get done injecting it, this thing looks like Bo Jackson on steroids.
Major League Baseball in the 90s.
That's right. Yeah.
That Netflix documentary about the bodybuilder who killed her husband. You guys seen the?
Oh, no.
I haven't.
I've only seen the trailer, but that's
yeah. You see, it's like, dang, wow,
right.
it's impressive.
The hell happened to that turkey?
Yeah, the turkey. It's like swole. Yeah.
It's the Mark McGuire of turkeys.
So I haven't.
Fresh out big.
Some people do, but it just ends up getting almost too salty for me. If you do a brine, don't overcook your turkey. I think it's one of the most underrated kind of proteins. Turkey sandwich is great. Fantastic.
It's unbelievable, bro.
Even turkey. throw your gravy.
I agree. I think
stuffing.
turkey gets such a bad rap on Thanksgiving. They act like it's not a good, I guess it's ho-hum.
People overcook it, and I understand you get nervous about poultry, but if you have a thermometer, just keep an eye on it, because once it hits 135,
pull that thing.
You got to pull it. You got to pull it. You got to let it rest for a half hour, get up 10 more degrees, and then you get your thighs fully cooked. And there you are.
Or just let Iverstein's take the headache away from you and stop in today and pick up your turkey.
That's right.
One like Josh has right there as he's chilling with. All right, Zach Ewing is here from The Advocate. We have fed him, which hopefully gets him in a good mood of giving us some winners this weekend. How we feeling, Zachary? Happy Thanksgiving. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
How was the sandwich?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I just didn't want to have my mouth full.
That's all right. I get it. You go chips on the sandwich?
I could do that.
Okay.
Little texture in there, little crunch.
Little crunch.
Got to have the crunch.
Yeah.
How we feeling? Good card this weekend, right?
Yeah. Look, I was just writing this today in a story that's going to go up on the website early this afternoon. It's the best weekend of the college football season.
Amen.
But it's also the worst one because it's over. Nothing against championship week, but it's not the same. It's not the same chaos of wall-to-wall games, and so you sort of have that bittersweet feeling of, man, this is great, and we have games every day, and it's 48 hours straight, more than 48 hours straight of football, and then all of a sudden it's just over, and you got that withdrawal. And I love the NFL, but NFL weekends aren't the same when you don't have that Saturday college to warm up. So, but it's a good card. Look, I think for the first time in a long time, I'm looking forward to the Lions game. Thursday morning, you usually just fall asleep, but the Lions are playing well. I actually still like Buffalo. I'm going to lay the points. It's 9.5. I just don't think people realize Buffalo doesn't play on turf very often. We don't get to see them on turf inside. We saw it last week because they played in Detroit, right, because of the snowstorm. That offense is a track meet when it gets on turf.
Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
I never have too.
And so, in Detroit's offense not playing bad either.
Yeah. I mean, that thing is going to be an entertaining
The total's
game.
54, maybe even 54.5, which is the highest total in the NFL in 3 weeks.
Wow.
So it should be really entertaining. And I think because the game is that high scoring, you have a better chance to cover a big spread like that. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the points. Second game, I'm going to take the points with Giants because it's 9. I just think that's public Cowboys money. Everybody loves the Cowboys.
Sure.
Everybody doesn't love but you either love them or you hate them, right? You bet on them. They bet on their games.
They're a very emotional team.
Well, that's because they get the title of America's team, and they haven't won since the 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I mean, their lines still get inflated. They won big. They looked incredible last week. Against Minnesota, no doubt about it.
40-3.
Holy crap!
But what does that do?
Yeah. It didn't feel
now.
that
All of a
close.
sudden, the look-ahead line was 7.5. Now it's 9. Why? just because they played well last week doesn't mean anything for this week. Giants are a little bit better against the run. It's a short week. Should be a lower scoring game. Micah Parsons, it looks like he'll play, but he might be limited. So I kind of like the points there. And then my only play on the night game is the under. I can't bet on Kirk Cousins in prime time. No. You just can't do it. It's like, but at the same time, the Patriots' offense is a mess. So I think it's 42.5.
Yep.
It just feels like a slogfest.
I think the
Minnesota favored by 2.5. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Just to your point, you were talking about with the Dallas game. They played so well. Can they play that well second? It happened to Minnesota. They beat Buffalo the week before they got it handed to them by Dallas.
And a lot of times in the NFL, you play that bounce back or that bounce forward, and it's like it's a tough league and a short week especially.
I think it's right. I'm really excited to watch that Detroit game. I was just talking to someone. I said I wouldn't bet that Detroit beats Buffalo, but I bet you it is a close game.
Oh, it's going to be an entertaining game,
and
too.
I hope it is.
I think it'll be entertaining regardless. But it's one of those games where even if Detroit sticks with them for 2.5 quarters, Buffalo can still win that game by 14. Detroit's defense gets tired. You're on the turf.
That's it.
And so that's why I kind of like
2 late ones,
laying those points.
They did. They've been playing well, obviously coming off of victories, but. The reason why I'm kind of thinking that too is Josh Allen is not playing like Josh Allen last year.
No, he's not.
I mean, he was an MVP candidate, until week 7, and then just the last month, it's 2 picks a game, red zone picks 4 in the last 2 weeks.
I think he's hurt.
He is hurt. He's playing hurt.
I think his
There's his elbow, huh?
Yeah, it looks like his elbow.
They said he needed Tommy John, so I mean, imagine that.
Oh yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
So they only make him stronger, only make him better. Sweet.
They're gonna inject him like a turkey.
Yes. Ole Miss is -2 tomorrow night in the Egg Bowl, but it seems like Lane might have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. What effect does this have on this play? How do you like this one?
I won't touch it with a stick, as our Jim Derry would say. Like because I was thinking the same way as you. Mississippi State is the play here at home, rivalry game. Lane's got a foot out the door. But then, Lane met with his team yesterday, and he's on Twitter joking about it. And, isn't Lane Kiffin just weird enough to turn this into a rallying cry and, all of a sudden they come out and play well? And then he leaves the next day anyway.
Right, yeah, right.
I just don't – it's hard for me to predict it. I think Ole Miss the more talented team, but it's a rivalry game anyway, and now you have this added element of it. I'll watch, but I don't think I'm going to bet on it.
Speaking of rivalry, the Iron Bowl will kick off this Saturday with Cadillac Williams leading the Auburn Tigers into Tuscaloosa. This game is going to kick off at 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. Tide is favored by -22 here, and they have been a heavy favorite down the stretch here, and we have debated Alabama's point spread, I feel like, every week. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, I took Ole Miss plus the points against them and won a couple of weeks ago. It's another hard one. I mean, I don't know that much about Cadillac Williams as a coach, but he seems to have rallied the troops, right?
Yeah.
He seems to it seems like a coaching mismatch, right? Cadillac Williams against Nick Saban, for God's sake. But at the same time, maybe Cadillac's a little better than we think. It's a rivalry game. I'm tempted to take the points. I mean, I think Alabama may sniff could they backdoor the playoff?
I mean, come on.
I mean, they're number 7.
I know.
Could they backdoor the play? If LSU lost to Georgia
it
and
would
USC
be
and TCU
chaotic. It'd have to be chaotic.
It would have to be, but
chaotic. But
it's college football. It happens.
They're not dead.
So if they sniff that and they think, if we go win by 40, we could put that as the last impression in the committee's mind. I could see that possibility too.
Oh gosh,
that could be. I wonder if it'd be something like that. Jeff Saturday a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. You always get that new coach bump, right?
You get that new coach bump, and it's like Auburn may have to step in and try and protect the criticism that maybe people are putting on hiring Cadillac or whatever it may be, and try and play. But
yeah, I mean, he's not going to get the job. I mean.
Beats Alabama.
Yeah, he beats Alabama.
If he beats Alabama, then they got. I mean, but I really do think that it's done. I think the deal is done.
I'll put it this way: that would be the most Auburn thing ever.
Oh
beat
my
Alabama.
God!
LSU did it.
Rescind Lane Kiffin's offer and give it to Cadillac.
It would be the most Auburn thing ever.
He may not get the job at Auburn, but he beats Alabama.
No.
He's getting a job somewhere.
Oh, he's. I don't even think if it matters if he beats Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, I think that he could get a job somewhere. The Cadillac Williams story, just kind of real quick side note, is is incredible. He didn't start coaching until 2018 at Henderson State. And his story is that, like, he just wanted to coach ball, and he wanted to go home to his kids. Like, he had never had this grand plan to go be a head coach. He was going to be a running backs coach, be a really good recruiter, and
make a good paycheck.
Yeah,
and go
make
home.
a good list. He's got a lot of money in the bank from his NFL career. He's got a great NFL pension.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a good life. You know what I mean? But experiencing this over the last 3 weeks, I think is kind of opened the door to him, or maybe like, you know, the light bulb went on. Like, maybe I can be a really good head coach. You know, so I think that the Cadillac story is about to get really, really interesting as far as like what's next for him. Whoever gets the job next at Ole Miss, whether it's, you know, Lane Kiffin or Deion Sanders, I would hire that guy as my associate head coach for sure. You know what I mean? Like Cadillac would be my second in command, and he would be the recruiting department, and he would be the king of the message over there, because whatever he is feeding them, whatever they are drinking out of that Cadillac is serving, that it's wildfire over there, man. I mean, you talk to people in Auburn, the Plains is on fire right now.
Well, this is what I've never understood, and I know we had to deal with this even last year, right, when we were doing our search. What is this hoopla about Lane Kiffin?
In what sense?
What has he done outside from ride Saban's coattails?
Well, no, he really kind of redirected the Alabama
offense.
He's also recruited real well at Ole Miss. I think, and that's what
he develops.
Is Auburn that much better of a job than Ole Miss? That's what I like. It's better, I think, but is it?
I don't.
A little bit better, But you also have to play Alabama every year, where when they redo the SEC, maybe Ole Miss doesn't have to play them every year.
To me, they're the same. They've got their their own program. They've got their own history with some really good players.
You get $10 million instead of $8 million, but
I wouldn't look at Auburn and say, well, this is a far better program or opportunity than Ole Miss.
If Auburn fans are listening, it's like smoke coming out of their ears right now, because that's like the most prideful.
Oh, for sure.
Them in Tennessee, but I just don't know that it's that much of a step up if I'm Kiffin.
No,
I mean, it's got to be a paycheck. You got to be done with.
I think it's the NIL stuff.
Whatever he can do at Ole Miss.
I think that's the difference maker. I think that's like when it comes down to it, it probably is, when you put them side by side, it's probably a lot of same, boxes checked.
Yeah.
I think the one that kind of looks outlies about Auburn is that they got enough money that they can run with anybody in the league.
I wonder if he also feels like I could go stick it to Saban and be the one former
I definitely
assistant
think that means
he's got that ego to him.
I definitely think that means something.
People wanting to beat Saban, but I think a lot of programs are going to keep kicking around these coaches like Lane Kiffin and these same guys that have been around, and the Cadillac Williams are going to be out there, and they're the ones that really should, because I think they're bringing a juice, they're bringing
I agree.
flame
Look,
to the
man,
programs. I think they're young. I
it's-
think the players and they understand, because it wasn't long before Cadillac was playing, and he understands what's important for players, what's important as a student athlete. He has that kind of a sense, and I think a lot of younger coaches, you see it in the NFL with all these people, right? And I think they're innovative. They're thinking outside the box. They're not trying to recycle the same schemes and the same approaches, your McVays, your LaFleurs, I even think Dan Campbell, Shanahan, like all these young, the coaches are getting younger because I think they're innovating. They were the coordinators.
Sure.
I tell you what, though, LSU fans ought to be happy with the guy they got.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Sorry,
you're sitting pretty.
Hard not to.
Yeah.
I think that LSU stock, from a college football standpoint, sits only just under Georgia right now.
I mean, it's on the rise,
Yeah.
right? Where Georgia's, it's harder to maintain it than it is to get there. So
it's vertical. All right, Zach, before we get you out of here for the holiday weekend, we asked you a little bit about mismatch of college and pro, but this is a huge sports weekend, right? I mean, there's a lot of World Cup soccer, there's NBA basketball, there's college basketball, there's football, both levels of NFL and college football. Is there anything that we need to be paying attention to?
I'll take this afternoon, if you can find it, Canada against Belgium.
Ooh.
There's what's called a double chance is what it's called, where you can get a team to win or draw. So you basically get them plus a half a goal. And Canada's around plus 150, plus 160. I think that should be more like even money, so there's a lot of value there. USA Friday, I guess it is, against England. I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful, but from a betting perspective, the odds are not there. I think to bet on anything except maybe a draw. I think you can get a plus 280. So if you want to back the red, white, and blue, maybe a draw is the way to go.
America don't do no ties now. We either winning or losing.
College football did ties for 80 years. That's what people always say that. I don't know. Ohio State, Michigan. Kind of leaning Michigan with the points, but I'm not. That line is 7.5, and I feel like it's right. Maybe if it were 7, I wouldn't take Michigan, but I could see that being a touchdown
that's gonna
game.
Be a fun game.
It's gonna be 7.5. But yeah, I think it should be a great weekend.
A&M?
LSU A&M, that's 10.
Yeah,
it's probably right about on where I'd put it. So I don't see a big edge either way there. I mean, the big thing there is if LSU can get out to a lead, A&M will quit. I mean, that's where if I had to bet, I'd pick LSU simply because of. Now, if it's close through a half, you're going to get guys who fight for pride and ego and all that.
Yeah.
But if LSU's up by 10.5, stadium empties, it could get ugly.
Agreed. Yeah. Great to see you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Josh, great to see you, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It'll be a busy day over at Iverstein's today, I'd imagine, with some last minute pushes from people of trying to get in and get.
Yeah, but it's such a fun, busy push because it's holidays, it's people coming in and
everybody's in a good mood.
Everyone's in a good mood. We're really happy to be a part that you open the door, and actually we feel like you let us into your family, you let us in on your table. So being a part of your special holiday is really important and something we take pride in. So come and let us take the stress out from you and give you that confidence that you need to go and smoke that prime rib or that turkey and just have a great day and celebrate friends and family in the great year, hopefully, that we're having.
So you just reheat that if you go
so you get the smoked turkey, and this is already fully cooked. It's fully smoked overnight in our smoker in-house like we do all of our meats, and you just take it home and reheat it. It usually takes about an hour at 350 just to kind of get fully hot all the way through, but, I mean, if you wanted to make turkey sandwiches, you could just cut it up cold and eat it, So.
IversteinFarms.com online. Great for holiday last minute pushes. Get over and see them on Perkins Road. Shout out to another great sponsor of ours, City Cafe. I was over at City Cafe yesterday with Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, and the crew. Great lunch day specials over there. Great happy hours. And again, they are serving up holiday meals as well over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net. For our entire crew over here at the Jordy Culotta Show, make sure and have a good, safe, happy holiday season as we will be back with you on Monday. Stick around. Mic'd Up coming your way this afternoon. Also, Shay Dixon and the Recruiting Hour going to be coming your way this morning as far as programming goes. So a lot coming your way as far as what you can take in today and over the next couple of days. Don't forget us on a podcast format and on demand. If you need some programming just to kind of peel off and listen to, if you're around family, if you're heading to the deer stand, if you're heading to holidays with the family and you need something to listen to while you drive, remember the Jordy Culotta Show on YouTube and all over podcasts, all brought to you by RMB Builders. Have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. We're back with you on Monday.
Oh, and Tavion Galloway, I believe, will join us for Mic'd Up. A little recruiting.